Greetings, one and all. Welcome to the channel. Guys, my name is Mind Power. You can call me MP. On this side of TikTok, we turn our pain into possibilities, purpose, and power. We take power back from the narcissist. And the shame the narcissist puts upon us, we turn that into solutions and services. And therefore, this message is my service unto you. Welcome to the channel. Guys, the title of this video is Coercive Control. Guys, on January 19, 2025, a few days from now, TikTok in the United States will be shut down. So go over to YouTube and hit Mr. Mind Power and hit the subscribe button, because I'm moving all my content over there, and that's where I'll be. If you like the content, that's where you need to follow me, okay? Now, guys, what is coercive control? Coercive control is something that's premeditated, okay? When a narcissist meets you, they do a snapshot of you the first time they meet you. Then they idealize you and they put you into a frame, like a picture frame. I call it a frame of reference. From there on, the narcissist embeds you in their mind as an internal object. You could call it an interject, right? Now, that interject is who the narcissist lives out a fantasy with. It's called a shared fantasy, meaning you're in a relationship with the narcissist. The moment you disagree with the narcissist, you're no longer idealized inside the narcissist's mind. You become an external object. And so the narcissist will utilize tools to get you back into the frame of the idealized person that they interact with inside their mind. Now, what the narcissist is doing here, everything he does inside his mind is not premeditated. He has a fantasy. The narcissist lives in a fantastic world. When the narcissist manipulates you, that's when the narcissist is aware of what they're doing. And so that manipulation is premeditated. Understand? However, coercive control is not something that all narcissists do. The only narcissist that does coercive control is your covert narcissist. The extroverted narcissist, or the grandiose narcissist, or the cerebral academic narcissist, or the somatic sexual narcissist do not coercively control you. The only person that controls you coercively or uses coercive control and who is a narcissist is a covert narcissist. And I hope you understand that. There's a litany of misinformation that does not rely on academic studies. There's over 100 years of studies on narcissism. There's tons of text, there's literature, and none of it refers to grandiose narcissists or anyone else, any other type of narcissist beyond the covert narcissist utilizing coercive control. The only other person who does that is a psychopath, and the only narcissist who will sometimes do this is a psychopathic narcissist, meaning a narcissist is also a covert narcissist and a psychopath at the same time, having a comorbid two disorders, not just one. They're not just a narcissistic psychopath, right? So coercive control, I'm going to go over 4 points here that covers it. 4 things you need to look for. So coercive control. The number one thing you want to look for is isolation. And before isolation, let me go to another point. Let's do number one as intimidation, right? The victim is always intimidated, meaning there's a tremendous amount of fear that the victim feels that they need to stay in line, they need to behave because the narcissist will retaliate. And so there's a lot of fear. The victim will change their routines in terms of their life changes, things they normally did before they met the coercive, controlling, covert narcissist, they will no longer do. They exercise a life filled with terror and fear. Fear of retribution, fear of punishment, fear of micromanagement, and so on and so forth. And so the victim finds themselves living a life of routine that's based on or predicated on the intimidation factor from the coercive, covert, narcissistic psychopath. The second thing you want to look for is social isolation. So if you were, before getting in this relationship, if you're in a coercive, controlling relationship, you want to think about what you were doing before. Were you hanging out with the girls? Were you hanging out with the boys? Were you going to the batting cages on the weekends, hitting some balls? Were you going to the driving range? Were you going to the shooting range? Were you going hunting with your friends or fishing? Were you going to brunch on Sundays with the girls, hanging out? Were you going to the club? What were you doing normally? Were you taking trips, girls' trips, and living your life of abundance prior to meeting one of these narcissists, right? Now, what you'll find is that you will become socially isolated. You're not allowed to do several things. The things you normally would do, you're no longer doing them. The narcissist will complain about you going out with the girls, going to Sunday brunch. They'll make excuses like, oh, you're cheating on me. And so little by little, you start cutting back on the things you normally would have done. Now, slowly, after a while, you'll shed your hobbies, and this could go as far as shedding your jobs, your career, business goals, business ideas. If you start a little hair company where you're selling hair extensions and things like that, or cosmetics, you'll find that the narcissist will want you to shut that down or sabotage your success in those arenas. The other thing is invasive monitoring. So this is number 3. They will monitor every aspect of your life: your laptop, your phone, your emails, your inboxes. The narcissist will coercively control you to gain access to all of this technology in order to control you. They will somehow take your dating apps off your phone. It will go. You're not allowed to drink. You're not allowed to use the bathroom in private. In a coercive controlling situation, primarily with the male covert narcissistic psychopath and a female victim, the victim will often find themselves not being able to have any private moments, meaning you can't even go to the bathroom or the toilet and shut the door behind you. You can't have a shower with the door closed. You'll have to take a shower with the screen pulled aside and the door open, and it'll be a complete invasion of your privacy. And then the last thing is the criminal aspect of it. In some countries, I think in the UK, they've recognized coercive control as a criminal activity, and it's justified. What will happen is there'll be a deprivation of your basic needs, and in some cases, these needs are food and water. When it's a severe case, you'll be isolated to the point where they won't allow you to have food or water. Maybe you're allowed to drink every other day. Maybe you're allowed to eat every 3 days. In the real severe cases of coercive control, and they'll use other manipulation tools to justify doing this. They'll tell you you've gained weight, you're fat, you're obese, you need to stop eating, things of that nature. And they will tie in physical violence, physical intimidation, alongside or sexual violence and intimidation, which are all illegal. And that's why coercive control has an element of criminality tied to it. The ultimate veto power goes back to the abusive narcissist, who can decide whether or not you should be punished or not punished based on the level of your disobedience. And a lot of victims will often view this type of abuse as love. Some will view it as this is just how the coercive, abusive, narcissistic psychopath shows interest in them, and also this is just how they'll justify it by saying this is just how the coercive psychopath, covert narcissist shows their insecurity. The final thing to look for here is automatic compliance. In these situations, the victim will automatically do exactly what the narcissist wants them to do. And that's my video, guys.